All right, folks, settle in because there's a lot to unpack today before we get swept up in Cup final fever. Celtic are just hours away from potentially securing a glorious treasure, and what a fitting way that would be to put a bow on a season already packed with history, emotion, and drama. But before we dive headfirst into Hampton talk and get lost in the sea of green and white, there's some big football news that absolutely demands our attention. And if you're a Celtic fan, or simply someone who appreciates a good football story, this is one you'll want to hear. Let's start with the big man himself, Ange Postecoglou. Yes, that Ange. The man who swept into Celtic Park, raised eyebrows with his calm authority, and left behind a legacy of attacking football, trophies, and belief. Well, he's just done it again, this time south of the border and on the European stage. Last night, Ange led his Tottenham Hotspur side to a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Manchester United in the Europa League final. It wasn't pretty. If we're being honest, it was 90 minutes we'd all rather not rewatch. But it was effective. And for Ange, it was vindication. It was the moment he silenced doubters and proved once again that he is built for success, even when the odds are against him. For many Celtic fans, seeing Ange lift a European trophy brought back a flood of memories. It was more than just watching a former manager win. It was a reminder of the journey, of the transformation he led at Celtic, and of how quickly football moves on. But in Ange's case, it's moving in the right direction. He's shown that his methods, his principles, his approach to the game, they work. Not just in Scotland, but on one of the biggest stages in club football. Now, I'll be honest with you, as someone who leans towards Manchester United, it wasn't easy watching that. There's always a sting in defeat, especially in a final. But if we had to lose, I'm glad it was to him. Ange is a class act. Through all the criticism, through the media pressure, and the skepticism from his own supporters, he kept his head down and kept working. And that's why moments like this matter so much. Because they prove that resilience, intelligence, and conviction do pay off. And let's talk about what this win actually means in a historical context. Ange Postecoglou is now only the second man in history to manage Celtic and go on to win a European trophy as a manager. That is not a small achievement. It places him in rarefied air and adds another layer to the legacy he's building. When he first took the reins at Celtic, plenty of people questioned whether he was up to the task. Some even mocked the appointment. But within months, he turned doubters into believers. And now, not only has he brought silverware to Tottenham, a club that's often defined more by what it almost wins than what it does, he's written his name into the European football story. What comes next for him is anyone's guess. Will Tottenham keep him? Will they decide to part ways despite this triumph? There's already chatter among the Spurs fan base, some of it respectful, some of it shockingly ungrateful. And part of me hopes he sees that, shrugs, and walks off into the sunset with his medal held high. But let's be real, jobs like Tottenham don't come around every day, and Ange knows that. He's not one to make rash decisions. Whatever he decides, one thing is certain. He's a winner. And not just in the traditional sense of lifting trophies, but in the way he conducts himself, in the culture he creates, and in the football he promotes. The celebration videos, the post-match interviews, even the throwbacks to his Celtic days that are making the rounds online, all of it reminds us what Ange stands for. Integrity, vision, leadership. Whether he stays in London or moves on, he's left another mark on the game. And you know what? Maybe this isn't the last we've seen of him lifting trophies. Maybe there's more to come. Now, switching gears, let's talk about Celtic. Because while one former Celtic man is making headlines abroad, things are heating up back at home too. The transfer market is rumbling, and one name that's popped up recently is Arne Engels. You've probably already seen some chatter about it online, and yes, there's reason to pay attention. Reports from Italy are claiming that Serie A side Atalanta are showing serious interest in the young midfielder, and there's talk of concrete approaches being made. Now let's pause for a second. Arne Engels isn't just any young talent. He's Celtic's Young Player of the Year. He's a lad who's had a standout debut season, showing real promise in midfield and giving fans a glimpse of what the future could look like. And while the verdict may still be out for some in terms of his long-term ceiling, there's no denying the raw talent is there. His intelligence on the ball, his movement, his decision-making. It's the kind of stuff that catches scouts' eyes. So it's Not exactly shocking that a club like Atalanta would be interested. But that doesn't mean Celtic are ready to let him go. According to an article on Sport Italia, Atalanta's manager Gianpiero Gasperini is actively planning for potential departures in his squad, and he's looking at reinforcements. Engels, along with Fendru from Genoa, is reportedly on that shortlist. It's not the first time Atalanta have circled around Celtic players. Just think back to the Matt O'Reilly saga last year. They're clearly keeping an eye on Parkhead, and Engels might be the next target. That said, there's a long road between interest and a completed transfer. Sport Italia might be the source, but how reliable is it? That's always the big question with these things. Some reports fade into nothing, others spark genuine moves. For now, it's worth taking it with a pinch of salt, but it does highlight something crucial. Celtic's talent is being noticed across Europe, and that's both a compliment and a challenge. When you look at Arne Engels' numbers this season, they tell a story of growth. No, he hasn't been a superstar every single match, but for a player his age, the consistency and maturity have been impressive. And that's exactly why other clubs are sniffing around. But if Celtic are smart, and they usually are when it comes to selling, they won't let him go cheap. The club invested significantly to bring him in, and they'll want to see a real return if a sale ever happens. We're talking figures in the £20 million and up range. Anything less than that wouldn't make sense. What's more, Engels hasn't even scratched the surface yet. He's just getting started. Give him another season under Brendan Rodgers with a full preseason behind him, and we might see him take that next step. And personally, I hope we do, because Celtic need to hold on to players like him if they want to keep progressing, especially on the European stage. Selling too early, as we've seen before, can cost more than just talent. It can disrupt the entire rhythm of a squad. Now, to back up that point a bit, the Seas Football Observatory, which is a platform that tracks and estimates the market value of players, has Engels listed in a 21 to 30 million euro range. That's a big range, sure, but it gives you a ballpark idea of how he's being viewed. He's the only Celtic player listed in their current database, and that says something. There's value there, and Celtic would be mad to let him go without a serious offer on the table. Still, for all the speculation, I don't believe he'll leave this summer. It feels too soon. The timing's not right. He's barely had time to settle, and unless Atalanta or any other club come in with an offer that blows Celtic away, I think he stays. And that's not just hope talking. That's looking at the business side, the football side, and the developmental side. Engels has more to give, and Celtic would be wise to hold on to him while he reaches his peak. The summer window is going to be busy, no doubt. Brendan Rodgers will already have his wish list, and central midfield is likely right at the top, especially if someone like Reo Hatate moves on. And one name that could come back into the mix is Kalidou Sidibe. Now, if that rings a bell, it's because his name popped up about a month ago. The towering midfielder, 6 feet 7 inches tall by the way, currently plays in France for Quevilly Rouen, and his manager recently gave an interview admitting that Sidibe is likely on the move. Celtic have been linked before, and now that confirmation is out there, it wouldn't be surprising to see those rumors reignite. He's a different type of midfielder, strong, imposing, a defensive anchor who could give Rodgers a different option in the middle of the park. He's valued at around £1.7 million, which makes him a very affordable target if Celtic decide to make a move. So that's where things stand as we edge closer to the Scottish Cup final. Eyes on the pitch, ears on the transfer market, and hearts full of hope for what's to come. The season's not over yet, and with a bit of luck and a lot of fight, Celtic could make it one to truly remember. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. In a move that could send shockwaves through Scottish football, rumors are mounting that Liverpool and Scotland star Andrew Robertson is set to become Celtic's newest signing. While nothing has been officially confirmed by either club, sources close to Parkhead suggest the deal is progressing behind closed doors, and fans are already daring to dream. Robertson, a Glasgow native and lifelong Celtic supporter, has long been linked with a return to Scottish football. Though few expected, It to come this soon. The left back has been a stalwart at Anfield since joining Liverpool in 2017, becoming a Champions League and Premier League winner under Jurgen Klopp. With Klopp's recent departure and changes looming at Liverpool, whispers of Robertson seeking a fresh challenge have only grown louder. If the move materializes, it would mark one of the most high-profile transfers in the history of the Scottish Premiership. Robertson is not only a Scotland international and captain, but widely considered one of the best fullbacks in world football. For Celtic, bringing in a player of such caliber would be a massive statement of intent, especially as they gear up for European competition next season. Fans on both sides of Glasgow are watching the situation closely. Celtic supporters are buzzing with excitement at the possibility of seeing one of their own don the green and white hoops, while Rangers fans are already bracing for a potential power shift. Celtic manager Brendan Rodgers, who previously worked with Robertson during his time at Liverpool, is reportedly eager to reunite with the defender, believing his leadership and experience could be vital in shaping the club's ambitions going forward. No official announcement has been made yet, but in a city that lives and breathes football, this developing story is dominating conversations. Whether it's just smoke or the start of a major fire in the transfer market, time will tell. But if Robertson truly is on his way home, Scottish football is about to witness one of its most dramatic twists in recent years. Hello, fan! Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.